including Roy Keane's take on this inflated transfer market. That is certainly worth a listen, believe me. But let's get the very latest now in the transfer market. Here is my colleague Brian Swanson. Brian?
Yeah, thanks so much indeed, Jim. We'll kick off tonight with significant developments today involving Arsenal's Alexis Sanchez. We understand that Manchester City will make an offer before Thursday night's deadline. City keen on a simple cash-only deal. We're told Arsenal are considering a deal which involves Raheem Sterling heading for North London. A move could also include Arsenal paying a fee to City as a make-weight. One source has told us that Sanchez wants to leave. He's desperate to, in their words, win trophies and titles. Arsenal's position, though, has always been that Sanchez is happy and he's staying, even though he has less than a year left on his contract. This is by no means a done deal. TV13 in Chile, though, reporting earlier that Sanchez has asked to leave the international training camp to conduct, in their words, personal business.
For me, it's... I can't just, take a deep breath with Sanchez. To a huge amount of money, I think the board will just say, we're just going to have to sell him. But the backlash that the club are going to get from this would be absolutely immense, I can tell you.
Well, Sanchez made his first appearance of the season in Sunday's 4-0 defeat at Liverpool. He told us during the Confederations Cup in Russia that he didn't know what would happen this summer. Arsenal's manager has always maintained that he will be staying at the club beyond Thursday's deadline.
He's very focused, very happy, As I told you, the fact that he goes into the last year of his contract doesn't mean that we have no chance to extend it. At the moment, we have managed to do it.
You would expect him to be an Arsenal player?
Yeah.
Now, there had been reports about Sergio Aguero potentially being involved in any deal for Sanchez. That seemed to be very much wide of the mark. But what about this man, Raheem Sterling? Again, we were told that City would prefer a straight cash deal for Sanchez, but it's Arsenal who have talked about Sterling being included in any deal. With time running out, it would be difficult for Arsenal to find a replacement for Sanchez, and that's why Sterling is being discussed. Now, what about the future of Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain? Well, we told you yesterday that a fee had been agreed with Chelsea. Liverpool not out of this one just yet. Arsenal are letting him go because he has just a year left on his contract. He's refused to sign a new deal. Chelsea willing to pay around £35 million. And now Liverpool have got to decide whether or not they want to match that fee. In the meantime, Chelsea have been discussing personal terms, we understand, with Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain's advisors. He is with the England squad at the moment. They are, of course, playing in Malta on Thursday. And just to bring you up to speed with some developments within the last couple of minutes, it does concern Arsenal. It does concern the man there at the bottom, Kieran Gibbs. On his way out, he's expected to have a medical at West Brom after a deal was agreed with Arsenal. Gibbs had been close to agreeing a move to Watford, but personal terms were an issue. We're still awaiting confirmation of a fee. The deal believed to be worth around £7 million. Now, we understand Arsenal interested in this man, West Brom defender Johnny Evans. Manchester City and Leicester have both had bids rejected. Our sources close to West Brom, though, have informed us they're unaware of any contact formally from Arsenal. They've yet to make a formal offer for him at this stage. Evans, of course, has joined up with the Northern Ireland squad before they fly to San Marino on deadline day. Now, I understand Liverpool have had rejected basically a third offer from Crystal Palace for Mamadou Sakho. The latest bid worth up to £25 million. Liverpool value him at £30 million. And we are told that Monaco's position tonight remains that they would prefer to keep this man, Thomas Lemar. They want him to stay at the club. Monaco have rejected two bids from Liverpool. The latest bid there worth nearly £65 million. There have been reports today that Liverpool had made a third offer, but we're told at the moment that's not the case. Monaco under no pressure to sell. One source has told us Lemar wants a move, but he's not driving a move away either. He's currently with the France squad just outside Paris, but Monaco wants him to stay. Big difference, though, about whether he does actually stay. That's something that we've got to keep tabs on, because we have seen it before. Just because a club wants them to stay, ultimately every player has a price, and ultimately if that price is high enough, you just wonder whether Monaco will accept that bigger deal should one be made. Now, big developments today on the future of Renato Sanchez. We're told that Liverpool have dropped their interest in signing Bayern Munich's Portuguese midfielder. Liverpool have made several inquiries for him about his availability, but our information is that they have decided to move on. Sanchez wants to leave Bayern to get more game time Swansea were interested in an ambitious move. That hadn't worked out. Monaco still interested. His agent was at their game at Sunday, and don't discount Paris Saint-Germain either. Very much a player to watch in the final few days of this window.
Brian, thanks very much indeed. Liverpool have announced a club record deal for Naby Keita from RB Leipzig in Germany. Liverpool will pay an initial $48 million for the Guinea international midfielder, who will join up next summer. Reports in Germany tonight claim this fee could rise to as much as £69.4 million. This is what Keita's had to say about the deal. He says, "I'm delighted that an agreement has been reached which will allow me to join Liverpool next summer, when I will become part of a project that excites me greatly. Until I join my new club next summer, I will remain an interested supporter from a distance." What about Stoke? They have completed the signing of Kevin Wimmer from Tottenham in a deal that's worth £18 million. The defender signed a 5-year deal at Stoke and becomes their 7th signing of the summer. 24 years of age, he made 31 appearances in 2 seasons at Tottenham and became surplus to requirements at Spurs following the arrival there of Davinson Sanchez from Ajax.
A lot of big names here at Stoke City. The club has a big tradition. Always, when I came here with Spurs to the stadium in Stoke, was always a very good atmosphere, and I can't wait to play in front of our home fans. I've had some experience in the Premier League, like you said, but not that regular. But still, it was Premier League football, so I know what it's all about. And like you say, I want to play more regular and show what I can do and what I'm able to do.
Now, Celtic have presented the highly popular Patrick Roberts to the media after the winger completed his season-long loan deal from Manchester City. During his previous loan spell with Celtic, the 20-year-old scored 17 goals in 60 appearances. Roberts had played for City in pre-season, having joined the club for $12 million in 2015. He'll wear the number 7 shirt for Brendan Rodgers' side.
With the club, obviously, at the end of the season, trying to sign me and persuading me, obviously, it's the right place. And then me going away, obviously, doing pre-season and giving a good go at City, and obviously then thinking about my future from then, which was obviously is back here. I think a good season was obviously it improves your game personally, and you never know what can happen in football. I'm just looking forward to getting back out on the park and doing my best and improving every game.
It is mind-boggling, the figures that are about for players now, and especially for the average players. You know, it's time to be a professional footballer. It's now. You know, average players are going for 35 million. My goodness.
Welcome back. Just a reminder, the breaking news tonight, and Kieran Gibbs is having a medical at West Brom. And staying with Arsenal, and Manchester City want Alexis Sanchez. Arsene Wenger wants Raheem Sterling in return. Whatever happens, Nigel Winterburn told us the Arsenal board must get a good deal for the Chilean forward, or they will face the wrath of the fans.
Is he staying at our football club? If he does, fine, but make sure that you put in a level of performance that you put in last season. Don't be disruptive, because not only are you being disruptive and disloyal to your supporters, but you're destabilising the. I can't just take a deep breath with Sanchez.
Nigel's not having it, is he? So how do Sanchez and Sterling compare? Well, Sanchez was far more deadly in front of goal. In 38 games, he scored 24 goals and finished the season with a conversion rate of 19%. And now, in contrast to that, Sterling scored 7 with a conversion rate of 11%. Sanchez also created more chances, and he made more assists, 10 to Sterling's 6.
Well, Jim, it wouldn't be a transfer centre without an update on Diego Costa. We're told that talks are still being held between Chelsea and Atletico Madrid. Costa desperate to return to Atletico, but because of their transfer ban, he can't, of course, play for them until January. Atletico don't want to pay his £150,000 a week wages either, and they're not too keen on paying Chelsea's £50 million asking price. Costa could go out on loan to another club until January. That is one option being explored, but we're told that Atletico are pretty tough talking when it comes to the negotiating table. Well, staying at Chelsea, and they are getting closer, we're told, to agreeing a deal for Leicester City midfielder Danny Drinkwater. Leicester value him at £40 million. Chelsea are trying to get him for less than that. Chelsea still keen very much on Ross Barkley. He has under a year left in his contract. He's refusing to sign a new deal. Everton will not let him go cheap. He's currently sidelined with that hamstring injury. Tottenham we're still also very keen on Barkley. And in terms of this man, we're not yet finished at Chelsea. They are stepping up their efforts to sign Fernando Llorente from Swansea. Antonio Conte wants another striker. Swansea looking for up to £20 million. He will be allowed to leave if Swansea tie up a deal for Wilfried Bony. Plenty of deals still bubbling under. We're going to go now to West Brom and the future of Nasser Chadli. It still looks like he could well be leaving this week. Swansea City wants him. We're being told by one source that Leicester are interested. That's not been confirmed with the clubs. Chadli would cost around £20 million. Interesting as well to see the impact that's going away on the international scene is having. A lot of clubs are having to do their business slightly earlier. Of course, from a logistical point of view, it is slightly harder to get those deals done, but they can arrange the medicals out on the road depending on where those players are. Now, Everton, they are going to be busy this week, and they are close to agreeing a deal for Nikola Vlasic. She's to be worth up to £10 million. Everton's still working hard to buy a striker as well, and we are hearing that from a number of clubs. They are expecting to be busy in the final few days here. Newcastle, for instance, an update on the future of Dwight Gale. We're told Newcastle are prepared to sell Gale, but only if they can line up a replacement. Despite ending last season as top scorer in the Championship, Gale was dropped, of course, at the weekend. Rafa Benitez said last week that the striker really needs to regain his confidence. Now, what about the latest on a West Ham transfer target? We've spoken about before, that is William Carvalho. We know that Slaven Bilic is going to be given more time at the club, but is he going to get the midfielder he wants? Well, talks between Sporting and West Ham broke down last week. Sporting holding out for £40 million. West Ham not willing to go that high, we're told. No indication yet either that West Ham have gone back in for him. But that's why we love the transfer window, because as deadline day approaches, we could well see a break from either side on that one. The big question is whether Sporting go down, whether West Ham go up, or whether it stays stalemate and he stays in that shirt. We'll just end this update with Manchester United. Ivan Perisic was the fourth player Jose Mourinho wanted to sign this summer. United refused to pay Inter's £48 million asking price. The big question fans are asking, any chance United will be making a late bid? Well, that's not according to Perisic's Croatian national team manager. He says that he's spoken to him, he's happy at Inter, he's staying at Inter. That tallies with what our colleagues at Sky in Italy have been reporting, saying that he is close to signing a new deal there.
Brian, terrific. Thank you very much. Chelsea have signed Hazard for a third time. Kylian Hazard, the younger brother of Eden. He's joined up from the Hungarian club Újpest. Well, the attacking midfielder is 22 years of age, and he'll go straight into Chelsea's development squad. Chelsea also used to have Thorgan Hazard on their books, but they sold him, remember, to Borussia Mönchengladbach. That was 2015. One player who has left Chelsea in this window is Nathaniel Chalobah, who's left them and he's joined up at Watford. Now, since then, he's been called up to the England squad for the first time, and he's been speaking about his decision to leave the champions and his conversations that he's had with Antonio Conte.
It's a difficult place to get into a team. You know, there's a lot of pressure on winning games, and I feel sometimes, you know, to chuck a youngster in is not an easy decision sometimes for the manager, but I felt as if I gave everything when I was there, you know. So it was a very hard decision because I'd been at Chelsea my whole life. I'd been there 12 years. Chelsea was all I knew. I have a lot of respect for the manager. I had a few discussions with him, and he was always honest with me, which for me was what I needed at the time. And you know, he gave me the opportunity that a lot of managers hadn't given me when I was there at Chelsea. And to that, I'm ever grateful for. And I have no bad things to say about the manager, really.
We understand Fulham forward Sonia Luka is having a medical at Reading after the club's agreed a deal that could be worth up to £7.5 million. But the move is likely to anger the head coach Slavisa Jokanovic. Last month for you, we're told that Rangers are likely to make another bid to sign Hearts winger Jamie Walker before Thursday's deadline. Now, Rangers had a bid turned down earlier in the summer. Walker's out of contract in the summer next year and has rejected a new deal. If Rangers don't sign him this week, they expect to agree a pre-contract deal with Walker in January. Been quite a summer transfer window for Paris Saint-Germain, no doubt about that. And as we told you earlier, it could be about to get even crazier with the imminent arrival of Kylian Mbappe. And with players off on international duty, it's just as exciting for those watching from afar, as Gary Cottrell reports.
At this time of year, it's hard to take your eyes off transfer updates, especially if your team's making another headline-grabbing signing. Kylian Mbappe seems bound for Paris, on loan to start with a big money purchase guaranteed next year.
That can be perfect. Yeah, we welcome that kind of player. We need it also, and as number 9 we have only Edison Cavani, so I think Mbappe can be a really good alternative, and he can also, he's polyvalent. He can play on the right side, on the left side, in the middle. We need him anyway, and yeah, for sure we have a really great team this season.
Yeah, best team in the world?
With Real Madrid and München, I think we will have one of the best in the world. Yeah.
And one of the best in the world, no question, is Neymar. PSG paid big and fought hard to get him, and Meunier is delighted to have him. Awesome on the pitch and on the training ground.
Training with Neymar is okay because he doesn't play at 100%, so it's okay. Even with 50%, it's really good for him and for us. But in the game, yeah, it's incredible what he can do with the ball or the dribble. Also tactically, is very good. He defends, he attacks. He's everywhere, and yeah, I think he deserves to be, for me, one of the best players in the world.
Meunier's Belgium have World Cup qualifiers at home to Gibraltar and then away to Greece, who held them to a draw in Brussels.
In Greece, it will not be easy, for sure. The atmosphere there, the vibe is also special. And in Gibraltar, against Gibraltar, here in Belgium, we need to win anyway.
6 points this week, and Meunier can surely start to plan for Russia next summer. For now, this summer, though, he's checking transfer updates. Gary Cottrell, Sky Sports, Brussels.
OK, well, Roy Keane was asked about the money being spent in this current transfer window today and just how much he and his former teammates at United would be worth in today's spiralling market. His response, Vintage Keane.
It's mind-boggling, it really is. It is mind-boggling for the figures are out there now for players. It's not the players' fault, it's obviously it's the market value of players. It is, yeah, it is mind-boggling, the figures that are about for players now, and especially for the average players. You know, it's time to be a professional footballer. It's now, you know, if average players are going for 35 million, my goodness. But that's the way it is. It's not the players' fault.
I mean, you play with some great players.
Yeah.
The Van Nistelrooys, the Beckhams.
Ruud would certainly be worth now. The market now, probably $1 billion.
David Beckham.
$1 billion.
Giggsy.
$2 billion.
Roy Keane.
3.75 million, I think.
Well, a player who knows a bit about deadline day moves is Dele Alli. He joined Spurs at the end of the January transfer window 2 years ago, and he's looking forward to watching how things unfold on Thursday.
Yeah, it's a great day to be sitting there watching Sky Sports and to see what's happening around the other clubs. But I think as a player, you're sort of just relaxing and seeing what's going on around in the rest of the team. So
stressful though.
It can be, yeah.